Built to serve.
So Luka got the last laugh last night, just like someone on this show said he would. We're not naming names, but we got lots to discuss from this one coming up. Hey, Club Superstar just opened up. Is Chris Paul getting kicked out already after blowing yet another playoff lead? And Giannis and the Bucks packed up, heading home. No title defense for them after what Boston put together yesterday. Good, fantastic Monday morning. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wilde's either hiding or hard at work.
I'm good.
I'd love to discuss this Boston game. Nick and I just feel like he got other ideas. What's up? Wait, what?
What? We're not going Boston first.
Some research.
Kevin Wild.
No, he's doing some research, Jenna. He's scouring the internet to find one correct take of his. Can't find it. Can't find it, Jenna.
We're not going to Boston first?
No,
what are we doing?
No, we're not.
We're saving the best for second, Broussard. That's what we're doing. All right, Nick Wright, Mavs Suns, Game 7 in the desert. No other way to say it. Your guy, Luka, he was just sensational. 27 points in the first half. Hey, you know who else had 27 points in the first half? The entire Phoenix Suns team. The whole team. Luka had his prints all over this one, finished 35-10. He only had to play 3 quarters. Dallas led by as many as 46 points in this one as they absolutely obliterated a Phoenix team that once again dominated in the series until they didn't. All right, Nick, so Dallas now moves on to face Golden State. Before they do, clear the old throat. Give us your final message to Wilds and Broussard.
Oh, it won't be a final message, Jenna. It will be a message that will be referenced for shows upon shows and years upon years, because I tried to warn you both. I gave you all the longest runway imaginable. I told you the Mavs were making the finals 2 months ago. Shortly thereafter, Brew had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to say the Suns were winning the title. Well, they've gone home. And then when the series started, I tried to warn you all when Luka dropped 45 points and Kevin Wildes had the audacity to put up some Fugazi full screen about, maybe actually the Mavs are better when Luka doesn't score. And then game 2 rolls around and Luka has one rough defensive quarter. And Chris Broussard all of a sudden gives him the Trae Young treatment. Like, well, if you score 35 but you allow 36, maybe you're actually a net negative. And I have to listen to Antoine Walker, who's not even here yet, but he's going to get some of this too. Talk about how this needs to be a Jalen Brunson-centric offense. You can't win this way. It's like with Harden in Houston. I heard all of it. And then, what happened? Down 3-2. Who stepped up? Who made sure his team won by a combined 60 points in the final 2 games of this series? Who sent the 64-win Western Conference champion, defending Western Conference champions home? Luka bleeping Doncic. Just like he did to AC Milan when he was 17, just like he did to Argentina in the Olympics when he was 22, just like he would have done last year to Brew's beloved Clippers if he had any little tiny teensy bit of help. He would have, but he just needed a little bit of help. Finally, Luka got a little bit of help, and all of a sudden, that snarl I've been teaching him since he was 6 years old, he got to break out on these fake tough guys in Phoenix. The only person I feel badly for, Brew, is my dear friend Lil Wayne, who had the best seat in the house to watch his best friend Chris Paul get baptized repeatedly by Luka Doncic. We'll talk Devin Booker later. We'll talk Chris Paul later. But as embarrassing as it was for them, it's more embarrassing for the right side of this screen right now. But Brew, I don't know how you recover. I got to tell you, I just don't know.
All right.
Please save us.
All right, look, first of all, I want to know who Nick paid to go. We're going to Phoenix first before we go to Boston? I just want to know. I'm going to do some investigating after the show to find out how we started with this series and not the other one. That's number one. Secondly, I'm about to say something that in all my years of appearing on First Things First,
give it
not with the NBA,
right in the arm.
Not with the NFL, Major League Baseball, college football, heck, not even the USFL highlights that we do. I've never had to say this, but I'm going to say it right now. Nick.
Inject it right in my veins.
You were right. You were right. I'm going to give you your props. Congratulations. You were right. I'm going to give you your, have your day, have your fun. Now, in truth, we all know you weren't as cocksure and vainglorious as you're acting right now. I mean, after game 2, you were all but begging me for a legitimate olive branch. I didn't give you one. I should have gave you a legitimate olive branch. I bet you would have taken it. Secondly, you mentioned your boy Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne offered you. He was ready to make you a rich man, richer than you already are. And you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take his bet on the Suns because you weren't confident.
I don't want to make him.
You were hopeful.
No, because
you
it's
were
not
dreaming.
comfortable when friends owe you that much money. No,
you know what?
I didn't want to steal from him.
Let's not let the details ruin the good narrative. The bottom line is Luka and the Mavs Wilds got it done. I got to give props to Jason Kidd. Great adjustments, particularly defensively and emotionally. We talked about this. He hit just the right tone, Wilds, when he called out his role players. Spencer Dinwiddie big yesterday, Jalen Brunson big the last 5 games, and when he called out Luka. Because after game 2, he called him out about his defense. Luka got better. I'm going to give him their props. The only saving grace for me is that the only person in the media that likes Luka Doncic more than me is Nick Wright. So I ain't mad to watch Luka. I've called him Luka Legend, New Age Larry Bird, so I can live with Luka doing this thing.
All right.
That's true. Wilds is the only real Luka hater on the show. Brew likes it.
I'm not
Wilds,
a
on the other hand,
hater.
Wilds, do you have Suns in 9 now?
I'm not a Luka hater.
Is it Suns in 9?
I am just saying it's...
What do you call that?
I'm not ready to say
suite?
he's like Larry Bird for getting to the Western Conference Finals. That's it. I'm not ready to say he's a legend all of a sudden for getting to the Western Conference Finals.
Look it up.
Here's what makes today even worse. Even worse, Jenna. Nick wasn't just right about Luka. He was also right about Devin Booker. That in the club superstar... Devin Booker he hasn't even mentioned it. He's been so right about Luka, he hasn't even mentioned Devin Booker. And you can't talk about this game and how great Dallas played, and it's a great comeback, without talking about the historical meltdown from these Suns. This was a meltdown of epic proportions. And to put it into historic perspective, since you guys are historians of the game, I'm going to read this verbatim. This ends up being the largest home Game 7 loss since 1948 when the Warriors defeated the Bombers. Wow. Broussard, put me on camera here for a second, please. Broussard, I didn't know the Bombers existed. I didn't know the Bombers with John Logan, Red Roca, a man named Giff, and a guy named Bob Dahl. I didn't know that team even existed. And now those names are in the history book alongside Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who mocked Luka. And Nick said it, and I hate to say it, he was right. Nick said that's the turning point of the series. He mocked Luka. Luka said it's easy to talk trash when you're up, and then it all went to heck. So, Nick, you didn't get... You're actually, in your obnoxiousness, you are actually being humble because you got 2 things right, not 1. I can't believe I'm saying.
A third thing. I call you back to Friday, the very end of the show. Your old buddy Nick Wright said an underrated important part of Game 6 was Spencer Dinwiddie all of a sudden found his stroke. And what happened when the game was getting blown open last night? Spencer Dinwiddie back from the dead. Here is the only issue I take with Wild's commentary. He called it a meltdown. Sometimes a meltdown happens and it's nobody's fault. It's like, oh my God, the cooling rods were miscalibrated. There's nothing we could have done. Sometimes the guy in charge of the whole thing has a few too many vodka sodas before he shows up to work, and the whole world is in disarray. This was a meltdown that was forced. This was a Suns meltdown due to a 2-week, 7-game long psychological and physical warfare that Luka Doncic imposed upon this team. He got Devin Booker out here mocking him while laying on the ground. He got Chris Paul out here saying Theo Pinson's a good player too. Fun fact, Theo Pinson made as many first-half shots last night as Devin Booker and Chris Paul combined, and he was wearing a suit slightly less good-looking than mine. So, guys, I'm trying to tell you that what we're watching, we are in a historical moment. It is our responsibility, Jenna, as broadcasters and in